You cannot use DNA tests to prove your ancestry. So when you see, these little images of other groups of people making fun of us, talking about, oh, take a DNA test, it'll show West African. To be honest, no matter what the test says, it's invalid. And Ancestry.com and 23andMe, they say that if you actually read their terms and conditions, they say do not use our test to make diagnostics or anything like that, or basically based anything that you're going to do moving forward in your life on their test. Do not base any of that stuff on their test because they said that it's not accurate, as we'll read here. Shout out to American Indian Engine on Facebook, where he uploaded and I got these screenshots. On the Bureau of Indian Affairs website, it says here on the FAQs, could a blood or DNA test prove ancestry? Blood tests and DNA tests will not help an individual document his or her descent from a specific federally recognized tribe or tribal community. That's very important because the federally recognized just means the government says, oh yeah, you're Indian. So if you go based off of a federally recognized or whatever, you're basically saying that as long as the white dude or the white man says that I'm Indian, then so I am. Well, that's why we don't do the federal recognized tribe. We, in Republic of America, we don't do the tribal stuff no more. Because that's what got us messed up in the first place. Everybody wanting to be separate and do their own thing. And then we got the divide and conquer tactic that works to this day. Y'all still want to do these tribe things. Just leave that to the Native Americans. Let them have that. We moved past that now. But it says here clearly, the only value blood tests and DNA tests hold for persons trying to trace ancestry to a particular tribe is that testing, if the tribe accepts it. So let's say you got all the proof in the world as far as DNA tests. Let's say that it is legitimate, even though it's not. They can say, well, we don't accept DNA tests. So you trying to get in with these people and they can just say whatever to exclude you. So I don't know why people keep trying to do that. It can establish if an individual is biologically related to a tribal member. That's typically what DNA tests are used for, to see if somebody is immediately related to you, such as a father, mother, or your father, your mother, sibling, even the grandparent. But the grandparent has to be present in order to give their DNA to test it. So it's not good for tracing back 100, 200, 300 years ago, and you don't have the DNA of that person in order to compare to your DNA. You're just comparing your DNA to other people around the world, but that's not accurate. And 23andMe says so right here. It said 23andMe services in their terms of service are for research, informational, and educational use only. We do not provide medical advice. They have to say that because if you can indeed use their services in order to confirm your ancestry, that can go into medical. Then if you carry certain genetic diseases and all those things, so they have to say, hey, our stuff can't do all that. Please note, the genetic information provided by 23andMe is for research, informational, educational use only. They said it twice. This means two things. Many of the genetic discoveries that we report have not been clinically validated. Clinically validated means it has not been proven correct by some type of institution or hospital that has the technology in order to do that. And the technology we use, which is the same technology used by the research community, to date has not been widely used for clinical testing. Talk to your healthcare provider. 23andMe does not endorse, warrant, or guarantee the effectiveness of any specific course of action, resources, tests, physician, or other healthcare providers, drugs, biologics, medical devices, or other products, procedures, opinions, or other information that may be mentioned on our website. So they're basically saying, hey, whatever information you get from using our stuff, if it says you're 90% this, 20% this, or 5% this, you cannot legally say that, hey, well, I got it from 23andMe, so I'm going to change my life circumstances based off what they say. And so you cannot go back and sue them if you go and talk about, oh, I'm this type of person now, and then you're proven wrong if you do a paper trail. You can't go back and sue them because they're telling you, hey, our stuff isn't really that definitive. So you can't come back and sue us. This information is intended for informational purposes only. They said that like 3 times. And for discussion with your physician or other healthcare provider. The services are not intended to be used by the customer for any diagnostic purpose and are not a substitute for professional medical advice. Our website is solely at your own risk. Don't you see now why courts of law will not use DNA tests for ancestry? They don't, because even the companies are like, hey, they're not legitimate. So what are these people talking about when they do this and they make fun of, oh man, if you take a DNA test, is something wrong with y'all? The DNA companies specifically say multiple times in their terms of service and terms of use that you cannot use their service in order to prove ancestry definitively, like going out in the world and changing legal status. If you're talking about medical, like if certain groups of people have certain medical issues, or if certain drugs don't interact good with certain groups of people, you cannot use that information for any of those things. So what are these people talking about when they tell you, American, indigenous, copper colored person, that you need to go take a DNA test when your grandmother, your great grandparent has been telling you that you've been in this land? So what? Who are you gonna believe? The people that are telling you, hey, our stuff does not, you cannot use this to come to a logical conclusion as far as your ancestry? Or are you gonna believe what your grandparents, what they actually lived through and learned here in the land? I think you should go with your grandparents instead of believing a bunch of liars on the internet. And if you do, because genealogy is public, so you go and pick some random person that is all up on your page talking about, oh, you African, da da da, and you go and you get their name, their legal name, and you go and do research, and you go see, and they from a whole nother place. But they got the nerve to talk about, oh, you come from, and I was already here. That a lot of people are doing that especially on Facebook. People, all these trolls and haters, oh, they're being exposed. But like, hey, it says Native American in your profile, but your genealogy says you from Poland, and they shut right up. So yeah, Ancestry.com, 23andMe, those are invalid. Do your genealogy if you really want to know as far as tribe. But to be honest with you, like I said, we moved past that tribal stuff. We're not doing that no more.